You stand up and you mention Southeast Ohio and the poverty that is in part of that area. And now there's hundreds of thousands of dollars that have been donated to that food pantry. What does that mean to you?
That means so much. I didn't mention it to get all this money for the food bank, but no, I think that's an awesome thing that people are doing, and I appreciate everyone that's been donating.
What have you heard from people back there since you made that speech?
Not a lot. All my friends have been texting me and all my old coaches, but I kind of stay off of social media for a while and haven't heard anything except from my friends and coaches and stuff like that.
Does it, though, kind of show you the power of that platform and of that moment?
Yeah, I think, everyone kind of has a responsibility to do good, and, I'm starting to have this big platform and starting to realize the impact that I can have.
What is it like to make your head coach cry?
Yeah, I didn't think Coach O would ever cry, and I didn't think I would ever cry either, but that was a very emotional moment and an overwhelming moment for us.
We were talking to him earlier, and he said his heart just started pounding when you started talking to him and about him. Were you looking at him during that?
I was, yeah, I was.
And could you feel his emotion?
Yeah, I saw it in his face. He's a super tan guy, and he was getting a little red, and I could see he was holding it back as the best he could.
You didn't think that all turned into a cry fest, did you?
No, I expected to win, and I got up there and was just going to give my speech, and then, everyone that helped me along the journey started running through my mind, and just got overwhelmed.
How long did it take you to write that speech?
I didn't write it. I just went up there and started talking.
No notes?
I had 4 or 5 bullet points, and after a while, I read the first 2 and talked about them a little bit, and then just started talking.
So that was from the heart.
Yeah.
And what inspired you to mention the food pantry?
That's just something that I wanted to mention Southeast Ohio, because so many people had helped me from that area, and then it just kind of came to my mind. I think it would be awesome to mention the struggles that area goes through.
Joe, if I had told you 2 seasons ago that you were going to win the starting job, you were going to beat Bama, you were going to win a Heisman, you were going to be in the playoffs, you would have said what to me?
I would have believed you. I know the work that I put in up to that point, and I just felt like I needed an opportunity, and I knew the kind of players that were here, and Coach O sold me on a vision, and I knew the work that we had put in this offseason, so we totally expected to be in this position.
Was there ever a point after you transferred here that you said, what have I done?
Never, no. Even last year, we had a good year, won 10-3, lost some games we shouldn't have lost, and we bonded together like brothers, and it's been great.
Joe, after that Heisman ceremony, and I know there's a million things going on, but did you ever just have a moment with that trophy, you and him?
Unfortunately, not yet. Hopefully, we can get it to Baton Rouge so I can have that moment.
Did it seem surreal in a way?
It did, yeah. We went out to Times Square, and I had all these security guards, and we took a picture in front of the billboard and ran back inside. I was like, wow, this is really happening. This is crazy.
What is it like to see your name on that trophy?
It was pretty cool. I didn't see it until the press conference after, and I looked at it. I was just kind of pointed to it, gave a little smirk. It was a cool moment.
What do you think your legacy will be here?
I hope it's a legacy of leadership and work ethic and all that morphed into one. All the awards are great, and I just try to be the best person I can be for this team.
I wanted to ask you a little bit about the transfer decision. And it's become such a big thing in college football. What advice would you give to someone who is thinking about transferring, doing what you did?
Yeah, I've actually talked to a lot of people about that, and I always tell them, make sure it's a business decision. Don't walk off the field one day when you didn't get a bunch of reps and say, screw this, I'm leaving, screw the coaches, screw all the players. there's going to be moments like that, but take a step back and reflect and make sure that it's the best thing for you.
You had Jalen there, you had Justin there, guys who have had success after transferring. Did you guys discuss that at all? Did it even come up in conversation?
No, not really. I would have liked to, but we didn't have a lot of moments just us together because they were running us around doing media and interviews and all that. But I just think I think transfers are good for college football. And would you want to see me on the bench or Jalen on the bench or Justin on the bench? No, I think it's really good for college football.
What was your process looking back at it, making that decision?
Yeah, so I went through spring, battled it out with Dwayne, and after spring I took a step back and was like, do I really have a chance of winning this thing in fall camp? And it was a really tough decision for my family and I, and I think it was the best decision for me at the time, and it's worked out for everybody.
Can I ask, what happened to that jersey that you wore?
Yeah, it's sitting in the equipment room right now until after the season, then they're going to give it to me.
That's one you want to keep?
Yeah, that's a special one.
Why was it special?
It was just a thank you to this state and this university that's given so much to me.
Joe, how did you know that you were connecting with these people here? Because you're a Yankee, and you didn't start your career here. When did it click for you and them?
I think last year against Auburn and last year against Georgia, they kind of started to realize that, I'm a leader of the team, and I think these people respect hard work, and I think that's a universal language everywhere.
And just one last thing on the transfer thing. What would you tell somebody who's on the fence about it, where their emotions and the business part of it are in conflict?
Yeah, I always tell them to try to take the emotion out of it. You might not like a coach, you might not like the head coach or your position coach. He might not be giving you an opportunity you feel like you deserve, but you got to make sure it's a business decision. I came to college to play football, and that's the reason I left, because I thought leaving would give me the best position to play.
Joe, when did you know that this offense was going to be a problem for people?
In spring practice, we were beating up on the defense pretty good, and I knew we had one of the best defenses in the country, and we had everyone coming back from last year, and I knew we were going to be special February.
Was there a game when you just thought, okay, good luck stopping us?
First drive against Georgia Southern, we went right down the field, scored on an RPO, and I said, yeah, it's here. It's time to go.
Coach Orgeron mentioned the Texas game, and he mentioned the 3rd and 17 as a defining play of this season. How do you look at that play?
I think we were in a 4-minute drill, and we threw the ball 3 straight times and scored a touchdown, and it was 3rd and 17. We could have, run the clock out, get it to around a minute and a half, but we decided to throw 4 verticals and try to get the first down, something that LSU hasn't done in a while, and I think that was kind of our, hey country, we're here.
Joe Brady, what sort of impact has he had on this team?
He's had a huge impact. He, along with Coach Ensminger, they've built this thing together, and Coach E doesn't get a lot of the credit because that's how he likes it. He likes working in the shadows, but he deserves as much, if not more.
How good can this offense still be?
We still got 2 more games to prove it. Our goal is to get that ring.
Was there ever a point where you just like, God, why didn't we do this sooner? Or did it have to come together the way it did?
I think everything that happened last year was great for us. We had everyone coming back, pushing through that adversity of last season, losing the Florida game and the Texas A&M game, and obviously the Alabama game I think it was good for our team in the long run.
We were talking to Stingley a little earlier, and he said that he thought that you tested him on purpose. Is that true?
Absolutely.
Tell me, can you just take me through it a little bit?
Yeah, I always like to just throw at the freshmen that are coming in, see what they're made of, see if they're tough, because freshmen, they're going to get beat. So I like to throw at them once. If they get beat, throw right at them again to see how they respond. And You know, we beat Derek a couple times, but I don't think we ever beat him twice in a row. That's the kind of person he is.
Did he ever intercept you?
Oh, yeah.
So when you guys would talk about other players, and he's a true freshman, but what would you say about him to other guys?
That's the best true freshman I've ever seen. You know, I've been around some really good ones too, and he's so humble and such a good player, such a hard worker. You know, he's going to be a great player for a long time.
He's a humble guy, doesn't say a whole lot, but could you see him one day standing up at that Heisman ceremony like you did?
I sure hope so. You know, a lot of these five-star freshmen that come in are loud and cocky, and I don't think Derek said a word for the first 3 months that he was here. You know, he just keeps his nose down and he works, and I know that's how he's going to continue to handle himself.
Is there more that this offense can do? Like, have you guys put in everything that this offense is capable of doing?
You know, we're still chasing that perfect game where, you know, we're 35 of 35 for however many yards and run the ball for a bunch of yards as well. So we're still chasing that perfect game.
Closest you've come this season to it?
Florida, you know, we ran 48 plays, scored 42 points. We averaged, you know, 12 yards a play, I think. Clyde had close to 200 yards. I was 21 of 24, so that was close.
And finally, the number 7 here. To people who aren't aware of what it means, what would you tell them?
It goes to the best playmaker that is a leader on the team.
If they would have handed you that number, what would it mean?
It would have meant a lot, but you know, I think it's more of a career award for our team. And you know, I was a transfer and only been there 1 year, so I was happy that Grant got it. He deserved it.
And when you leave here and you say goodbye to Coach O, you guys have a bond and a relationship that's extremely special. What is it about him that you've been able to connect with?
I think, you know, just like myself, he's one of the toughest guys around. And I think people respect people that have been through adversity and like people attract. And Coach O has been through his fair share of adversity as well as I have. And I think that's connected us.
What do you think it means to him to have won the Associated Press Coach of the Year?
He won't say it, but I know it means a lot to him. And, you know, I know he likes going back and saying all the people that doubted him, you know, here I am. And he won't say it, but I think it means a lot to him.
You kind of have that in common with him.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Is that why you guys kind of have something a little more than most?
Yeah, I think so. You know, we both battled through a lot of adversity.
Hey, thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more scores, highlights, and analysis, you can download the ESPN app. You've got the ESPN app, right?
Honestly, on Saturdays for college football fans, if you don't have the ESPN app, that's the lifeline for every college football fan. So you have to have that. The live streaming now, ESPN Plus. To me, it's the only way to go.
ESPN Plus was key for me recently. Got to get ESPN Plus. Arkansas State, Troy, down to the wire.
Loving it.
Superdog winner. Thanks to ESPN Plus.